we get to where we end up sometimes.
I know. Now, Lily, stop licking your chops. And now you're sneezing. Don't lick me right now.
I've rip it out of my throat. The word
Yeah, that's what I want. There we go. There we go. There we go. Okay.
Woo.
We are officially recording the 4th episode of the Talk About Traumatized podcast. We are finally here. Well, I already said this is episode 4 of the Talk About Traumatized podcast. It is Tiff and Nat here today. We have Gigi and Reese. They should be on the next 2 episodes, but if you watched our episode last week, we are filming only 2 days after, so we're still in the same week as the last episode, and they're just still unavailable currently. But we've already coordinated. In 2 weeks they will be back, so it will be all of us together. Hot dog, hot diggity dog.
Diggity dog.
My English, while I read a lot, I don't speak words really well because I read a lot. That is actually the direct correlation. At a young age, taught myself how to say too many words incorrectly, and they permanently press themselves in my brain until still as an adult, I'll say a word and a grown-up will be like, what did you just say? And I say grown-up because anytime it happens, I feel like that little kid again who's like being like told, oh, you're stupid. And in reality, I just taught myself the word. I had no idea. So this is the 4th episode. How many times can I say that? Oh my God. I feel like, I don't know. I definitely feel so like a little bit out of the groove. I finished editing the last episode last night and then ended up uploading the wrong one to YouTube. So I feel like that really, when I say this morning, I was like, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling on it. Like I was running a little bit late with everything, but we got it done. And then you texted me and I was like, yeah. And then I went and played it. And when the first few seconds were you like getting up and walking away, I was like, fuck. Because I was like, that wasn't part of it. So
I saw it started playing and we were talking about my vape and I was like, I don't think that was supposed to make it into the episode.
Literally, it wasn't. I'm not even gonna lie though, I sent myself into an even greater panic attack because I fell asleep while the video was exporting. But this morning I tried to edit a reel and save it, which I did do that, but my computer died while I was in the middle of that. So I was like, if that video did not finish exporting for whatever reason, and that's why I clicked the wrong one, I was like, everything I stayed up last night working on is going to be gone. It didn't happen, right? It didn't. I will say in the middle of my panic, I was like, you don't know, so don't like do this to yourself. So that kind of felt good.
That is actually a technique that they tell you to use when you're catastrophizing.
Yeah. I read a quote the other day that was, oh man, of course now I can't like remember it, but it was like anxiety is just like taking future problems and making them your problems now or something like that. And I was like, true. Can't stop it all the time, but this morning it did help to like really be like, you don't know. Like, and I genuinely had no idea because I knew it was exporting for sure when I fell asleep. And then it was just like in the grog of my brain and my files not being organized. I was like, it absolutely made sense. And I named the episode. When I imported the unedited video, I didn't put raw on it. And I've been really good at putting raw on it, but I didn't. So I just put TAT episode 3. So 2 a.m. Natalie just clicked that one. Now I'm going to put raw on the ones I import and final cut on the ones that I export to just completely alleviate that stress. But also I just need to organize my files. All of this long tangent to say, hello, we're glad you're here. We're glad we can be here for you. I will just go ahead and get into a trigger warning since I know we could probably just talk and talk and talk. We talk about very intense subject material. We talk about rape. We talk about sexual abuse, domestic violence, suicide ideations. This is a safe zone to talk about hard feelings, but it is also a zone that if you don't want to hear about it, you probably don't need to enter. So this is just your little warning here at the beginning. If you are not in the mood to discuss these things, even though we do it lightheartedly most of the time, that is okay. This probably just is not the video for you. However, if you like talking about heavy subjects, if you enjoy talking about it, getting it out, expressing your feelings on it, you are in the right place, because we do that. We do that here. So please stick around and let's get into it.
Let's go.
So, Tiff, how was your day yesterday?
It was good. I had a really chill day yesterday. Didn't really do much. Binged watched Supernatural, which is my comfort show.
What season? What episodes?
Oh god, what season am I on? I think it's season 7. It's just after the Leviathan.
I haven't watched it since I watched it with you.
Oh, really? I've watched it like at least 3 times since then.
Well, I've watched Grey's Anatomy once every year since then. Supernatural is a show I can rewatch, but it's not like the show I go to rewatch, so it makes sense.
It didn't need to be mine either. Mine used to be Criminal Minds. Like Criminal Minds, I could rewatch, like finish all 12 seasons and then go back and start again.
No, that's literally me with Grey's Anatomy. It's actually a problem. The fact that I've been this way since 7th grade kind of makes me feel like nothing's gonna change. And I do the same thing with Gilmore Girls too. It's something about like, while they're very different shows, I feel like they give off very similar vibes, especially in the early seasons because they were premiering around the same time anyway. But it gives me very good like nostalgia, just comfort. It's also one of those things where they see people with depression and anxiety and like things like that tend to rewatch shows. It's because I'm the type of person, it's really, really hard for me to sit down and consume new media. Unless it's like a short YouTube clip. Something about like watching a new show in my brain is like, oh, that's going to take like a lot of time out of my life. Whereas like with Grey's Anatomy or Supernatural or any of those shows I've seen before, I can put it on, but I can also do other things and I don't have to worry about it. So maybe it's just like the adulting thing. I don't know. I really don't.
Could be. My thing about it is, and to go back to anxiety, is a lot of people with anxiety do rewatch comfort shows because they don't have to wonder what's going to happen. They already know what's going to happen. And so like, my anxiety is the type that if I'm watching a show and I don't know what happens, I'm going to Google that shit.
No, I completely understand. You were saying your brother. That was literally like the sentence you were saying when I put my hands up.
Oh my God. Sorry, I just deleted our whole text thread on accident. That's sad.
Between me and you?
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. I still have it. I literally don't erase messages.
I don't either.
Yeah, I probably have our messages dating back for years.
Yes, I was trying to erase the spam one above it, and then once I clicked it, it wouldn't let me go back. Okay, anyway, sorry.
That's what she would say.
My brother gets so mad at me because, like, I even do it with movies, and books. I do it with everything. I have to know how it's going to turn out.
Same.
And, like, I still watch it. Like, I still sit there and I'll still enjoy it, but I like to know how it ends. And people are like, did you Google this? I'm like, yeah.
No, I am the same way. I am the same way. And this is one of the things I feel like me and you bonded over because I don't think we are the popular opinion on this. But like literally whenever, and I'm better about this, especially now that I listen to audiobooks and it's like, I don't know. It's hard to go back and forth. But when I was young and like middle school and stuff, I always read the last chapter of a book first. I needed to know how it would end.
Same.
Because even if it was sad, I was still going to read it. I think, it's like anxiety. It is absolutely, I'm like, I just need to know what I'm getting myself into.
I was just saying, I think that's why it's hard for me to try new things sometimes because I really get super anxious if I don't know how something's going to end. If I don't know where this is going and where it's going to end, I'm like, I don't want to do it.
No, same. I'm the same way. Maybe that's something we should be working on. I don't know. I feel very comfortable. Like, I like my comfort shows. I like my comfort music. Literally, I was already, like, right before this, I picked out a Jason Mraz song, and I literally tipped the whole time I got ready. I listened to the same song. You know, I'd let it play all the way through and repeat. And, like, Josh can't stand this about me, but I can play the fuck out of a song. Like, if I find a song I love, I will literally listen to it for the next 5 years on replay all day long. I don't care. I want to scream it from the top of my lungs. I want to know every single word. I mean, you know it too about me because you lived with me. I don't know. It's what I do. I know some people like it and some people hate it. Like, they cannot handle the repetition. I like the repetition.
I'm that way to an extent. Like, I will listen to the shit. The shit
out of a song.
Yeah. That's what I was trying to say.
No, it made sense.
Out of a song. I don't think I go to the extent of just, like, playing it and then going back and playing it again, but, like, I will listen to it. Like, I'll listen to it, maybe listen
10 times
to, like, 1 or 2 songs and then go back to it. Flowers by Miley Cyrus. I listened to that shit
it's
for
so good.
Weeks, man.
Yeah.
I can buy myself flowers. Oh my god, I don't know why I did that.
No, it's so good. It's so good. I'm so here for it. One of the reasons I love Trisha Paytas is because she'll do that, right? If she brings up a song she loves, and she don't care how she sounds, she's gonna sing a little bit from it. And then anytime she has a guest or like somebody with her, she's like, sing it with me. And then she just fucking goes, and I'm like, I love it. I love it so much because I feel like Trisha Paytas is Natalie coded in certain ways not. But sometimes I just feel like Trisha is like my inner brain monologue outward, like without like the barriers and the filters and everything like that. And I love that. But yeah, that's one of the things she does. I'm trying to think. Oh, All My Life was like the most recent one where I literally All My Life by J. Cole and Lil Durk. Like, I played the fuck out of that song. And you know what? I'm probably gonna, because I'm talking about now when this episode finishes, play it loud as shit and feel every word. Because the thing is I do it because I feel it. I feel the music.
Yes.
All this, though, I guess we can also plug, we're working on making playlists, actually, as we sit here and discuss music. So this was Tiff's idea, so I'll let you explain it.
Okay, so it is an exercise that I found it's called the Self-Love Workbook for Women. I think. Yeah. And I think I got it off of Amazon. So basically the exercise is just to make a list of songs that makes you feel empowered. This is the original exercise. So I started filling that out and I was like, wow, this is a good idea. So what I want to do is get together a few lists. I want to do one that's just like empowering songs, you know, just those like fucking, I want to go to war songs, you know?
So What by Pink.
Yeah. And then some that are just like feel good songs. And then I want to put together a list of like songs that make you cry, because you know sometimes you need to cry and you can't cry.
No, I get that.
And
I did that to myself the other day.
Yeah, it's
I went to Ed Sheeran finally.
Oh, I love Ed Sheeran.
Me too.
He's
great
like
live.
way back when. Ed Sheeran is my favorite, but I mean I can get down with the new stuff too. But 18.
I haven't listened to his new stuff.
Yeah,
as much. Plus and Multiply were like my Ed Sheeran albums. And Divide was good. So I think those are his first 3, right? His first 3 albums with a label, at least. He probably had music. Well, I know he had music before because there was music. Cold Coffee by Ed Sheeran. Do you know that one?
I don't know that one.
Oh my God. That down. It's an older one actually, and it's on his Plus Deluxe, but I think he re-recorded one of his older songs. That song makes me want to be loved like that, if that makes sense. And it's not like horribly like super like, you know, like super lovey, and it's not super in his feels, but it's just something about it. I literally love that song so much. But yeah, I literally, anytime I'm like, I want to cry and I can't figure out what songs are going to make me cry, I'm like, well, I listened to the 18 by Ed Sheeran the other day.
Yes.
And I never got super into that song. It was popular on the radio. In fact, I was so fucking tired of hearing it at one point.
They did play They do that Yes.
Yeah, like as I was talking about how I will replay the fuck out of song I love, but that one just was not vibing with me at the time. But the other day I listened to it and it definitely was making me cry. So I was like,
well,
he was
and
in his bag.
also listening to it yourself and replaying it over and over and over again is different than every time you turn the radio on.
You couldn't go into a store without it being playing. I'm like,
and
fuck.
It's different because it's your choice. It's your choice to play it back and play it back and play it back, and it's not your choice when you're every time you turn around the song is playing. Yes. Also, can we talk about the message of that song? Like, have you seen the video? Do you know what the song's about?
Yeah, it's about prostitution, right?
Yeah, and I never got that when I first started listening to that, but the fact that they were playing it in all of these different places, and I'm like, do you even know what this song is about?
Well, he has a lot of songs like that, right? He has the song about getting an abortion. He has songs about drinking. I love poetry, right? I think any song, like, it's the reason J. Cole is my favorite rapper, because it always has felt, his music has always felt more like poetry than just like rap to me. And I get into other artists and stuff too, but anything that like just feels beautiful, like when the words feel beautiful and like just so wholly can encapsulate a feeling. Oh, I love that shit. Like I literally eat it up. Like my Scorpio Venus, my Scorpio sun is like, yes, you did it. And yeah, I don't know. I freaking, Ed Sheeran has always been that way. And he is literally, Tiff, so good live. I went when I was in high school. I think my sophomore year. So like I was younger. It was the Green album. Which one is that? Is that Divide? I think it's Divide.
I think so.
Divide Blue.
I am so horrible about the names of like albums. Me and
too.
Stuff.
I'm literally trying to think of the symbol, but it was the green one for sure, because I remember. I think it was multiply. Green was multiply. Blue is divide, because I had a green multiplication sign on the sweatshirt that I got from it, and I wore the fuck out of that sweatshirt. I probably had to throw it away at some point. I lost it, but I do that to all of my concert apparel. It's so good. But he is one of those artists, I'd say he's the closest to like Hayley Williams in the fact that like you literally need nothing to be this good. Like he was just up on that stage with his guitar. That was it. You know, like I've been to a lot of concerts and normally there's a lot of dancing, there's a lot of performance, and that is good too. Like that is really good. But there's also something about being so skillful that you don't need anything else to go along with it. And you still, and then when Thinking Out Loud came on, there was a couple who were down on the floor, and I'm certain they were dancers and they had this choreographed long before. But they started doing this big old like dance routine to the song, and when I say like everyone on the floor made a big old circle around them, and we were up high, so we could just like see the whole thing. So he's singing the song, and then this couple is like doing this amazing. I literally I have goosebumps talking about it now, because at the time, you know, like you just know when you're experiencing something that's gonna be like that stuck in my head. I'm like, that was so fucking beautiful. It's not even real. I want to go to more concerts.
I just wanted to let you know that that's what I was doing. I was Googling the album, and it's the green one is the multiply.
Once I started thinking about him on my sweatshirt, he was like in the corner, and I think I had like a green divide or multiply. Oh God, I need to just stop, because math is hard and I am tired of it. Shit. But I don't know. I guess, I don't know. We've been on like this long tangent about music now for a minute. I know it went back into just like the media and the like consumption of like repetitive media, anxiety. I never talked about my day.
I was getting to say. We went from my day to just straight into all of this. Okay, how was your day?
So Tuesday, we recorded Tuesday. I had the best fucking day on Tuesday. Something about me, I'm a shopper. I'm a shopper girl. I was raised by a shopper girl who was raised by a shopper girl. That is how we bond in our family. We love to go shopping. It's fun.
Yeah.
I hate that everything costs money. It's such bullshit. I just want to go shopping. But so I needed new bras because I was literally wearing a sports bra that was broken and 2 nursing bras. That is what I've been functioning in for the last year and a half of my life. And I finally hit a point. Josh ordered 8 pairs of pants the other day, and I said, I'm going to get bras then. If you were ordering. And the thing is, we really both needed them. But it was like, right, I felt like I couldn't commit to this step until he committed to that step, because then I'm like, okay. It's one of those things, right, where you need, but you don't want to spend. And then on top of it, because I don't wear a atypical bra size, right? I can't get bras at Walmart. I can't get bras at Target. And I guess I can if I'm buying in the plus section, but anybody who buys bras from those places knows that those bras suck. Yeah. They are awful. The thing will pop through, and it's not even worth investing in. So I went to Reddit, and I'm like trying to figure out, because the only other place I've been able to find bras like in person are Torrid, but Torrid was the sports bra that I had that like broke, and I was just like, I want a good bra. Like, I want a good bra. And everything I read sent me to pretty much Lane Bryant. We have one here in town. I had the best experience of my life. The best. I walked out of the dressing room, and the lady was like, so how was it? And I was like, I've never had an experience like that, where every bra I put on fit, and I got to be picky about which bras I chose. Like, I've literally never had that experience. I guess when I was, like, smaller, I did in a way, but that was also what was so exciting, because I don't know if you remember like the kind of bras that I wore, where it like has the lining, but there's not like padding. It's just like that mesh. I got 3 bras like that actually fit me. And Tim, when I say I've been riding a high, I'm like, oh my God, I forgot what it felt like for like my boobs to sit in a bra, how they feel comfortable to me. Like, I literally, I'm on what, day 2? And I'm still just like, this is amazing. And then, oh my God, I didn't even get to the best part. I did not get to the best part. So I pick out my freaking 5 bras, and I'm going up there. And anybody who shops for bras knows those bitches are fucking expensive. They're expensive. And so the total gets up to like $230. And I still had one more bra in my hand. And I was like, I think I'm just going to hold back on that one, because I told myself my budget was $200. And she was like, just wait. She's like, I got deals for you. If you know anything about a bitch who loves shopping, I also love fucking deals, okay? I love deals. And so I'm like, okay. And the bitch said, we have 100 off of 200, 50% off. And then, because I was signing up that day, I got an extra 20% off. So my $250 cart cost me $130. So Tiff already knows I went across the street and bought some more shit, because now I had a bigger budget. And I was having the best time. I went to TJ Maxx. I got Josh some t-shirts, because he had been wanting some t-shirts. And then I got the dogs some dog toys. And I got Chance a new toy thing, because Chance does not need any clothes. Last week we went to Once Upon a Child, and we bought $200 worth of clothes at Once Upon a Child. So if that doesn't tell you like how much clothes we bought, it was so much fun. I literally love shopping for a kid. Yes. One of my favorite parts, and I totally don't care if some people think this is wrong, whatever, I think they're wrong. I love getting to dress Chance. I love it so much, because I know in like a year, 2 years from now, every kid is different, so I really don't know when, but I know the day will come where he's like, no, mommy, I want to pick out what I wear. And a little piece of me will break, because picking out his outfits is one of my favorite parts of the day. I love dressing him a million times more than I've ever enjoyed dressing myself. And you get to dress him in like your little style. Like, it's so much fun. Boys' clothes can be fun. You just have to like look around a little bit. And it just depends on the person. I have my boss in the women's center. She loves dinosaurs. She loves dressing her boy in dinosaurs. I personally am so tired of seeing dinosaurs on t-shirts. But like, right? That's what's fun about it. Like, she gets to dress her kid in dinosaurs. And don't get me wrong, I bought Chance these like overalls that were like dinosaur overalls. Fucking adorable. Literally adorable. But yeah, I love dressing a baby. I know it's not everyone's thing, but don't take it away from the people who enjoy it, because it is fun.
I was just looking on Shein last night for clothes for myself, and of course I ended up on the kids section because I was like, oh, you know what, the kids could use some more stuff. And I found these super cute outfits that would look so cute on my youngest niece. But going back to like him wanting to dress himself in the future, so like I get her ready for school when we have them and take her and everything like that. So the other day I put out 2 outfits. And I was like, this shirt goes with these pants. This shirt goes with these pants. Pick out which outfit you want to pick. And she's like, I want to wear this shirt with these pants. And I was like, because they did not match. And I was like, you know
what? That's like what little kids do.
She's 4. She doesn't have to match.
Exactly. See, that's what I think is a problem. No, like 4 years old, like, see, I think the problem is when you don't let your kids dress themselves. Yeah. Then I think you're being like totalitarian. Like, it's such a natural part of development. Like, let the kid figure out their style. To this day, which I brought up to my mom once, and I don't think she has any memory of it. Like, she has no memory of it. And I just remember distinctly being at Old Navy as a kid, and we had 2 dresses. They were the exact same, except one was blue and one was red. And little Natalie loved that red dress. I wanted that red dress so bad. Don't get me wrong. Red, not normally my color. I am red. I run red. My mom was right. The blue one did look better. But little Natalie wanted the red dress. She wanted it. And I remember me and my mom getting in the biggest fight. We didn't get either dress. We did not get either dress. But I just so vividly remember it because now as an adult and being more aware of what actually looks good on my body, I'm like, no, the blue did look better. I am 100,000% the blue would have looked better. I wanted that red dress so bad. I thought I was so pretty in the red dress.
But that's the thing, though. I mean, you were a toddler. You were a child. Who cares?
Yeah, I was bigger than a toddler for sure.
Oh,
I was probably like 7 or 8.
Okay, but still, 7 or 8, you're still discovering your style. You're still,
absolutely
growing into the person that you're going to become. Get the fucking red dress, Mom.
Get me the red dress.
Moms, if you're listening, they're only little for a little bit. You know what I mean?
I'm certain the walking away with no dress probably came more from the fighting that occurred when she was like, get the blue one. And I'm like, no!
100%.
So I don't want to make it seem like my mom was totalitarian. She did most of the time let me dress myself and stuff.
No,
but I just remember being so sad I did not get the red dress.
I love your mom. I'm going to put that out there. And I know that's not what I want people to take from this. For everyone who's listening, sometimes just buy the red dress.
Just give in. Let them get the red dress and look stupid. In a decade from now, they'll look at pictures and be like, why did you let me wear that?
Exactly.
You can't really win regardless.
Yeah, no.
But I think, I think kids know what they want more than we allow them to know what they want. But that's okay. It really was okay. I don't wear red dresses unless they're like a darker red. The darker red looks good. The red I was wearing as a kid was like fire truck red. I get fire truck red, like when I'm sunburned. I don't need any assistance, like from any clothes. Although I want to get my colors done so bad because I feel like so many people are like, I thought I was this and it turns out I'm this. And I don't know. I feel like I'm definitely like a dark blue, deep red, like maroon type of person. I think they stand out in a good way, but I'd be interested to see if that's like actually how it occurred. Yeah. So next on the list, getting our colors tested.
Writing that down.
Once we start making some money from this podcast, we'll redistribute it amongst society.
Yeah.
We like to shop.
Supporting us is only just...
I'm trying to think. Like a more like subject material. I guess I didn't really look anything up because we always like talk, but I'm trying to like relate it back to everything. Yeah. Like I know I want to talk about Kristina and stuff, but I also like don't know exactly how to, because everything is so very, very new.
Yeah.
And I want to make sure I'm honoring her. So recently we had my mom's really close friend committed suicide, and she was a survivor, and she went through a lot in her lifetime. There are things that I don't feel comfortable sharing for her, especially because I didn't know all of the details and I never got to know all the details. But she said enough to know that she was a survivor, and she was dealing with very, very deep rooted problems that stemmed from childhood, and they bled all the way into where she was at today. And recently she went through a really tumultuous divorce, and she lost her dog and then her job. And I think life does that sometimes, where it she spent her whole life fighting. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's actually been a topic of conversation in our household this week, because I do not think anyone who commits suicide is a coward. In fact, I don't think a lot of people can even begin to comprehend the degree of battling and fighting they had been doing every single day nonstop mentally.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the people who say that don't understand it, and they'll tell you that they do, but they don't.
Yeah.
And it I want to honor her name, because she is a person who was lost, who needed help, who could not get help because there is not enough available help. There's not enough available resources. She watched our first episode and she was really excited, so much to the point where this girl who never had shared her story asked to be a guest on the episode because she had things she wanted to talk about. And I wish we could have gotten that time with her, but I also know like that was not plausible yet for us in whatsoever. And it just happened that like after that, so much things happened in her own life. Um, but she is a person who felt like she had no one, and I want her to know that there is a whole community of people who are mourning the loss of her life, because she was also the kind of person who radiated joy, and her energy like exuded off of her. She had charisma plentiful, and she is someone who lost their life because of all of the trauma that accrued throughout their whole existence. And I just, so much about her story. I wish I could share more. I really, really, really wish I could share more, but I don't know what sort of position that puts myself in. And I don't know if that's what she would want either. Because, like I said, she was so closed off around it, and she never got the opportunity to experience speaking up. I hope her family and her ex-husband um, find ways to honor her existence, but I don't know if they necessarily will, because they, I think, contributed plenty to the problem. And so I've been really trying to figure out, like, I know that with the field I'm going into, with the work I want to do, unfortunately, this is actually probably something I'm going to see a lot. And it's also the biggest thing I'm trying to prevent, if that makes sense. Like, I Like, that's all I could think is, like, this is literally why I'm doing this. Like, this is why we're doing this. So we can be there for the people who feel like they have no one, for the people who feel like they can't talk about the things that are eating them up inside. Because I think we literally said it on the last episode, but if you're not getting it out, it's inside. Like, it's living inside of you.
Yeah.
It doesn't, you can try to put it in a box as much as you can, but that box does not say closed. You have to, right? You develop coping skills to keep those boxes closed. A lot of people turn to drugs, a lot of people turn to alcohol, a lot of people turn to a lot of bad habits in order to get through life, to utilize those coping mechanisms. And I just so desperately want to create so many more safe places for people who are experiencing this, because I mean, pretty much anybody who's listening, especially if they're this far in, probably has experienced it to some degree or knows somebody who has experienced it to some degree.
Yeah.
And if you have, you know that there is not enough help out there. And I want to do everything in my wheelhouse to create more resources, to create more access to resources, to build bridges where there are currently gaps.
Yeah.
Because Kristina fell into that gap, and there are a lot of people falling into that gap. I almost fell into that gap.
Yeah.
And we are just like the forgotten people, right? I don't know how else to put it, but like our issues, because people deem them as our problems, right? It goes back to what we were talking about in the last episode, like in terms of like shame culture and everything of that sort. But first of all, there's so much connotation around suicide in general, as if like I said, like people don't comprehend the battles that you can face. Like, people who've never had PTSD have a lot to say about PTSD, or the people who suffer from it. And I just think y'all need to shut up. Quite frankly, I really think y'all just need to shut the fuck up. Because if you lack empathy and lack understanding, then it's a subject you shouldn't be speaking on, and you shouldn't speak on it as if you do. And if that's your opinion, I think you should keep it to yourself, because I think it's a shitty one, and it's just another way to shame people who have spent their whole lives getting shamed. So take your judgment and shove it up your ass, because it's not welcomed here. And sorry, I feel very strongly about this. And I guess to like bring it back, I just want to bridge that gap, because we are losing too many people in that gap. And I will do whatever I can to stop people from falling through the cracks, even though I know I can't save everyone. I'm going to save whoever I can. I'm going to do whatever I can to help people. It's what I am here to do. I know that about myself. I'm going to pass over.
Okay. Firstly, I'd just like to send my condolences out to your mom. I know she was a very good friend, and your mom did what she could for her. Yes, and that is, it's not everybody would do that. And that just, your mom is a very great person.
When you said that, we were at 4.
Yay.
Literally, like, exactly. When you said that, that's the time. That means angels are surrounding us, by the way. Which probably means Kristina is somewhere listening too. You can keep going. When I saw that, okay. I was like, oh.
And to go back to what you said about people who don't understand, like, there's a majority of the population, I would say, just doesn't understand. I've had people in my life and in my family who have committed suicide, and one of the conversations that I had with a family member was literally maybe not verbatim, but that they were a coward and they took the easy way out. And and I had the conversation with them then, that you don't understand unless you've dealt with depression. You don't understand. And they were like, well, I've had bad times and I've been sad. But yes, you may have experienced a depressive episode every once in a while in your life. That is not the same as battling major depression. And it's not. And unless you've been there, you cannot understand. And I'm sorry, I would agree with you. Unless you've been there and you can understand, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, because
there's nothing.
I don't need to change your opinion because you lack the empathy to understand. So the least you could do is not make this about your opinion. Like, shut the fuck up.
Yes. A very great friend of mine is someone who has struggled with depression for a very long time in his life. And he told me one time something that a therapist said to him, which is, your brain's entire job, its entire existence revolves around keeping you alive. That is its entire job. And if your brain is telling you to kill yourself, something is wrong. And it's only because your brain does not see another way out. Yeah. It's not like your brain is just like, oh, we can do this, we could do this, we could do this. But you know what? Let's just kill ourselves instead. No, it literally is the only option that your brain sees. Otherwise, we wouldn't do it, because our brains, our whole nervous system is all about survival.
Yeah, when I was at that point where it was just like, I think this is my only option, it's because it felt like it was my only option to make the suffering end. Because people want to sit there all day and be like, well, what about your friends? What about your family? When you're in that state of mind, you think people would be better off without you. Yeah. I was so miserable. I thought it would like service other people to just stop sharing my misery with everyone. And just people who can't comprehend when the brain is fighting against itself, how horrible that is. I can't make you understand. My goal is not to make you understand. Literally, my goal is to make you shut the fuck up, because your opinion should just be shared with yourself at that point. Because you are now taking somebody's death, taking somebody's final action, and invalidating it. And just taking away from their pain. Like, I think it's, you want to call them selfish. I think that's the most selfish fucking thing you could be doing, is turning somebody's death as a talking point for your opinion. I honor them, honor their existence, honor their love, honor the things, the moments they got to smile, the moments they felt joy, the moments that weren't horrible for them, because their last moments were spent thinking about how horrible this world was to them, how horrible this world was, to the point where they didn't think they could exist in it anymore. And nobody needs to hear your opinions on it. Honestly, quite frankly, that's what it comes down to. I'm not here to change your opinion. In fact, if that's your opinion, that's perfectly fine to be your opinion. I just don't think you need to make somebody's death about your opinion, especially when it's such a shitty take.
And to go back, it is hard. It's a hard thing to deal with that when your brain is fighting itself every single day. But it's not only hard, it's fucking exhausting. It wears you out. I mean, there's a reason why people who are depressed to that extent are lethargic and they don't have any energy and they don't want to do anything. It's because you spend all of your energy literally fighting yourself.
Yeah.
And
I feel like, no, you go.
There are just not enough resources for the amount of people that are suffering from mental health issues in this country. And the resources that we do have are spread really thin, or they're getting shut down, or they're whatever. They're not enough therapists. There are not enough therapists who are trauma certified, because there is a difference between someone who is just certified in psychotherapy, talk therapy, and someone who is actually certified to treat trauma, because trauma-informed care is different than just talking somebody through, the day-to-day sort of problems that we have as adults. And it's a shame, because the trauma is all around us. You can get trauma from anything. And I just, what I want to accomplish is the same as you, is just to bring awareness to this and to bridge those gaps that we have in the care that we give people who are suffering from mental illness. I mean, we do have trauma centers, like trauma
resource centers,
and we also have like God, all I can think of is trauma camp, because that's what we used to call it when I worked there. But that's like trauma retreats, like centers, like rehabilitation centers that are focused on trauma. But in the end, though, I mean, I've worked there, and they're not where they need to be. I mean, the center that I worked at had like 10 therapists, and only like 3 of them were trauma certified in an actual trauma treatment center. Only like 3 of them were trauma certified. And they tended to focus more on the substance abuse issues and the alcohol issues, instead of addressing the root of the trauma, which is the whole reason they were there, right? Sometimes it's really hard to address trauma on an outpatient basis, because especially when somebody's trauma is so bad and so compounded by like years and years and years and years, it's not safe to do that on an outpatient basis, because you can't work on these deep things and then send them home. So we need more places like that, and we need more places like that function the way they should function.
And because Kristina literally spent the last few months of her life in and out of mental hospitals and mental institutions, but she wasn't getting follow-up care. She wasn't getting the care that she needed. She wasn't. I know it's also because she was so deep into her trauma, she didn't think anyone could help her, right? I understand that. I really understand that. The problem is that we don't see enough of people getting that help that they needed. So it makes sense why you don't think it's available, because most people aren't getting it. Like, right? I feel like I had to seek it out in lengths every time. And that's something that I'm trying to take, right? When I came forward about my assault, I thought for sure someone is going to help me. Like, someone is going to be able to tell me what to do now. No one did. It was like a million times worse, because now I felt like this raw, open, traumatized person, instead of like, right? Like, when it was contained, it felt like it was at least just to me, right? I was awful, I was miserable, but now it felt like I was a circus clown freak being watched, and nobody was assisting. Nobody was helping me whatsoever. I had to pave my literal path, and that's now a path I want to take every SADV victim. Like, I want to grab their hands and walk them down that path with me, because while I am still learning and while I'm still getting better, I do think that there were things that really helped me along the way. And there are things, right? I was able to leave the area that I was the most traumatized in, if that makes sense. Like, when I left Illinois and moved to Florida, I feel like the flashbacks, the PTSD, because right, I lost that like sight function that brought on the flashbacks and stuff like that. So that vividly decreased my flashbacks. And then being able to go to group was one of the best steps I took. Being in a room full of women, realizing that I am far from the last person who comprehends this trauma. When it felt all too much, when it felt so complex, it felt like I would never be able to break it down and explain it to people. I found people who understood it no matter what, because they understand, right? Like, people who have been through it, we understand in ways that we don't wish upon other people. Like, right? I don't need you to understand. I really don't. In fact, I'm happy for you if you get to spend the rest of your life never having to experience your brain literally fighting yourself. Like, I don't. It was the most awful experience I ever ever had. And right, I did in high school and through other points in my life. I definitely had depression. I definitely had different phases, but it was nothing like those moments where I I I mean, I know, like, right, I asked my therapist a couple weeks ago when I was talking about, I was like, what's the word? What's the word for this? And she said, trauma. It's like, damn it, bitch. Damn it. There's not a better, like, right? There's not even a good enough word because trauma feels like so used now that it's like, it is trauma, but it was, I mean, it's like complex trauma, but trauma doesn't describe it enough for me. If you have a better word for this, please comment it down below because depression and trauma, yes, PTSD, they were all a part of it though, right? There was this big pyramid of things that were circulating around in my brain that was literally making me believe that death was my only option.
Yeah.
It was the only way to make it stop, and I was losing my mind. So all this to say, I am so sorry, Kristina. I am sorry that the people you grew up with failed you. I am sorry the people you loved failed you. I am sorry the world failed you. And I am going to do everything I can to make sure less people get failed in this world, because you never deserve the things that happened to you. You never deserve to be treated the way you got treated. And you deserve to be at rest now. You deserve to not be at war with yourself anymore. And I'm so sorry that this was the only way you found out. But I love you no matter what. And you didn't deserve it. I don't have anything else to say other than you did not deserve what happened to you. And I also have to wrap up this episode, like literally like right here. Yeah. Did you have anything else you wanted to share?
No, I think...
Okay, we should probably do a grounding exercise for sure. I don't have one looked up. We can do the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 again, or if there's like,
I think we just do some deep breathing. So have you ever heard of belly breathing, like diaphragmatic breathing?
Yes.
Okay, so that resets your nervous system better than breathing into your chest. So we're just gonna like breathe in through our nose into our bellies and hold it for like 3 seconds, and then out through your mouth. And again. Okay, one more time. Okay, shake it out a little bit.
Oh. Man, I feel like I should have brought it up sooner, but I also like, I was like, I'm not ready to talk about it. I was like, let's just talk about it.
Just open the floodgates.
Yeah, the floodgates were open. And yeah, I guess anyone who was listening, I hope you also took some deep breaths. I know we definitely talked about something a lot heavier today, but it really is the reason we are doing this. It really, truly is the reason we will fight so hard for all survivors. It'll be going down as the last thing I do is fighting for y'all, because someone's got to do it, and it's okay if it's us. Like, I'm really okay being the one doing it.
Yep.
And so we love you all. Kristina, we love you, and we'll see you next week.
When tomorrow starts without me, and I'm not there to see, if the sun should rise and find your eyes all filled with tears for me, I wish so much you wouldn't cry the way you did today, while thinking of the many things we didn't get to say. I know how much you love me, as much as I love you, and each time that you think of me, I know you'll miss me too. But when tomorrow starts without me, please try to understand that an angel came and called my name and took me by the hand and said my place was ready in heaven far above, and that I'd have to leave behind all those I dearly love.